Okay, we are live, you guys. I know it's been a crazy week on the soaps. Hopefully, you also been enjoying the other channels as well. We're going to talk about all three of them over here. I got my girl Bree on the line as well.
Hey, everybody.
Oh man, and then the notification just went out. So we should start seeing people. I know it's Mother's Day. So I know.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Yes, yes, yes. I know people are probably out with family, maybe. So, if you don't get a chance to listen to it live, you can definitely listen to it, on a replay. Hey, Melissa. Hello, hello, Blackpink me. Welcome into the chat. Look at that. She said, Happy Mother's Day. Lather up, y'all. Hit that thumbs up, smash the bell, and spill the tea in the chat. Subscribe and join Soap Corner Talk, the drama train. Girl, that is too cool. I like that.
Thank you.
Shout out to Bree with the creativity.
I do a little bit here and there, but yeah, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Blackpink me, our man is about to be gone in a couple of
I
days.
know, girl. I hate that. I don't know what the deal. I want to know whether he got new projects or did he get cut or what the deal is. Do you know? Have you seen anything?
No, but I'm hoping after his episode aired, his last episode, he gonna sing like a canary and tell us what's going on
I hope
because we
so.
need to know.
We need to know what happened. Did they can you? Did they? Are you just moving on because a bigger project has come along? So we will see. Happy Mother's Day, you guys. I see it all in the chat. Hey, Myra. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Jenny. Medora. How you guys doing? Myra said, look, I got that notification this time. That is great. I'm glad YouTube did send you the notification. Hey, Indigo Blue. Welcome in.
All, all the usual suspects. That was really quick. We got almost 35 people
Girl,
already.
listen, they was waiting. You guys were waiting for something to pop up. Hey, Angela. Cynthia Chain. Hey, you guys. Welcome in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started because, again, this is a Sunday night. I was trying to go live on Friday afternoon, but that didn't work out because I know you guys had a different schedule. So, no problem. I thought I would try, but we are here. Um,
It's just
what'd you say, Bree?
no, I said it's just me and you. How do I sound? Because I saw something in the comments from the last chat. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound
You
fine to me.
guys?
I don't know about to the chat. And we're going to
Okay.
try to contain it. I don't want to get too late because I know one Sunday night or Monday night we went well into the hours, and I know we can get a little chatty from time to time. That includes myself. And so I want to be mindful. I still want to give you guys some conversation. We're going to chat it up, but I also want to be mindful about you guys because I know some folks got to get up and go to work because I know we got to the end of the chat. Man, people's like, okay, have a good night. I got to get up in the morning. So I want to be mindful of you guys, okay? So, and Blackpink Me said you sound great, Bree.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Joyce said you sound fine. So, audio
Oh,
check, great. All right. So, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where myself, T, and Bree on the line with me will be recapping Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates for the week of May 5th through May 9th. And we had a lot to talk about. I would say I really have not been a fan of Bold. It is a little, especially when Liam and his kids, it's a little emotional. I try to get through it because it's one thing when you're preparing something, but when you have to break news to children unexpectedly, that's one of the hardest things to do. And so for Liam not wanting to say anything, it irks my nerves. But I mean, to each his own. Okay.
yeah.
To each his own. All right, but Young and the Restless has been pretty interesting. our guy Victor Newman has been on a rampage. Look like Mariah is holding the secret. We have Lily being presumptuous, and Claire is just Claire is
She
just
she's just.
she's just yeah she's just and this whole thing with Billy and Chelsea. I mean Billy and Chelsea, Billy and Sally, and Chelsea and Adam. I just now, and this is the crazy thing with removing Summer, which we'll talk more about that. It put these two ladies on opposite sides where we now probably have an upcoming war between these couples, which I think is the dumbest writing ever. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the two of them being a couple, especially Sally and Billy. I'm just not feeling them like that. And so now, go ahead.
They've been together for how long?
Girl, 2 seconds.
Mm.
And y'all already, you jumping, especially the ladies. Okay, I don't want to jump ahead. I will get to that. We got a lot to talk about. So we'll talk about all three soaps. We'll take an intermission, give you guys a little updates on things, and then we have our final segments at the end of the show. Flipping the script, who's taking seats, star of the week, pickle of the week, and the Simp Olympics. All right. So, yeah, we're going to break it all down. And let us go ahead and jump in. We're going to start with Young and the Restless. And several things going on. The impending arrival of Aristotle Duma is, putting people on edge, which includes Lily, Billy, and Victor. And you might as well throw Adam in there because he's trying to figure out who is the mysterious, Aristotle. And starting with Lily. Lily is irritating. I don't know how many times Nate has told Lily to back off. The reason that they brought the guy to town was to reunite with his mother. And because Victor put a battery in Lily's back, she has been non-stop annoying. Even up to her own family. What do you think about that, Bree?
I think you're being very kind. To be honest, she's insufferable. I can't believe this is what they're doing with the Lily character. She's I mean, this woman is clearly bored. This is why we keep saying, get her a man, get her some attention. I mean, as much as she talks about Aristotle Duma, let's hope that's going to be her new man so she can leave Damien alone. The things that this woman asked this man this week, I'm going to need for you to quit your job to prove your loyalty to me. What is with these women on the show who want the men to quit their jobs and not pay their bills?
Girl, I can't believe that. I texted y'all in the group chat when I saw that a day ahead. I'm like, did she just tell this man to quit his job to prove himself to you? I couldn't. I just.
And then she offered him in an imaginary job.
Right.
She didn't even have a legitimate position for him.
Nope.
Didn't talk to her brother about it. Nothing.
Nope.
She said, like, well, we can find something over there for you. I'm pretty sure you want to quit. I'm like, what does this prove?
Well, that's part of it. The other part is she want him to be a spy, which is what Nate said. So you want my brother to spy? Well, I just need him to get an intel. It's a spy, ma'am. You want him to commit espionage against the man who pretty much gave him the career and the money that he has right now.
I mean, she should know. I mean, she did it herself when it suited her.
Girl.
Can somebody explain what is with Lily? I'm sorry. This somebody needs some people. I feel like the men on the show, they're walking on eggshells. Mine is Holden, because Holden kind of got her together a little bit.
Ooh,
but I don't like the fact. Yeah, I don't like the fact that Damien is simping for her now. I don't like
I
that.
don't like that either. I wish he would say, "Listen, I appreciate," because even she knows that she's being manipulative. Because she told him,
Mm-hmm.
"I know you're gonna do it because I know you're interested in me." I'm like, she's using your affection for her to manipulate it to get what she wants. And who's to say at the end of the day that she gonna end up with you anyway after all of that?
Yeah, I think he's going to do all of this, and she's going to seek after Aristotle Duma once they finally reveal who this is.
Well, it's
Um,
actually two top contenders because the way that the spoilers are going, it's possible that it could be Lily, but Phyllis is also in that mix too.
mm, she need a man as well. Good God, she need to leave her son alone, but that's a whole other discussion coming up. But with Lily, I just don't like how she feels that she is in control of everything. And
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to be a part of her family company, but you're going to create imaginary positions, tell this man to quit his high paying job, and then you get over to your brother, and he's looking at her crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said you didn't trust him, but you want to put him in our family company?
Right.
None of that makes sense. And I'm like, that's the owner right there. So you're going
Mm-hmm.
to create a position without checking with the owner first?
Yeah, she sat up there and offered a job and all of that before even talking to the two of them. I could see Nate trying to get his brother a job, even though like he tried the whole imaginary job thing back in December. But Lily, it's like, why are you doing it? Are you? And I mean, obviously, Devon is like, okay, I do. You must like the guy. You're interested in him. Oh no, we can use him to our advantage. It's a way for us to get information. That's even if Aristotle Duma is even interested in Winters. He's interested. We do know he's interested in Chancellor.
Yes. That we were able to finally gather. But other than that, nobody's able to get any intel about him. And she's still running off of the information that Victor told her.
Even though Victor clearly told her, well, I could be wrong. Remember that? What was that? It had to have been like back in February or March, where he was like, well, yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something else. And I'm like, he just blatantly told you that he was wrong. And even Damien said when she admitted to him that, Victor gave her the information, he was like, the man that give misinformation any given time of the day.
Exactly. And then she's not going to go back and fact check him and have Victor prove his loyalty. She literally said that, oh, she's still running with the fact that, oh, Victor and my dad, you know, they worked together for such a long time. Like, he owes this to us. He owes that respect to us.
She said, "Girl, that whole statement don't even make any sense, because if he was not what you, but her statement, that's what I'm saying. It don't even make any sense because of the fact that if he really felt that much affection to Neil, not to do something or owe you something, he wouldn't have never did what he did the end of 2024 to you in the first place."
Exactly. And Michael's licking his wounds from last week. And
Mhm.
then she also forgot why Neil created his own company to begin with.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
She keeps forgetting that fact. You know what I think? I think, especially since she found out that Billy and Phyllis are got that information about Aristotle, I think she still probably wants to try to go over to Chancellor.
Who, Lily?
Yeah,
Girl, I don't know.
wiggle her
She
way
need to
some
go
way
sit down
somehow.
somewhere and get her thoughts and get her life together, because, I mean, she's annoying everybody except Damien. And Damien is like, oh, to him it seemed like a challenge. So he's going to keep fighting upstream to see if he can even get to Lily. In the meantime, she had him want to quit his job and everything else and be a spy. And he's considering it. So much so that he gave Holden his job.
Lord.
And
I have no words. That was just insane. Now here's my thing. Who do you think Aristotle is at this point?
Well, they're saying that guy that's coming over from GH is possibly him. I don't know.
Billy Flynn?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll see who Aristotle. But I know that Michelle Morgan, aka Amanda's coming back, and from the way it looks, Amanda's probably working for Aristotle as his legal counsel.
Huh. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that either. And I also wouldn't mind the fact that Lily doing all this work run into a brick wall when it comes to dealing with Amanda if she is representing Aristotle Duma.
I would love that.
Oh, I would love that. Shut her down real quick. And at the same time, Amanda, go for Damien.
Yes. See, and plus she needs a man. Now she would probably appreciate a man who is zeroing in on her, wants to get to know her, not about the BS, and wants to give her time and attention with all the hoops and everything. Like, I would be perfectly fine. I think Amanda is due a man, especially after Devon cheated on her.
I mean, Myra just said in the chat that Drusilla Winters is Aristotle Duma.
Ooh. But then it would kind of prove Lily's point that he's trying to go after Winters, but they keep saying that Aristotle is trying to go after Chancellor.
Yeah, but why would that be the case to go? If it's Drusilla Winters, what does she have against? I guess obviously she would have issues with Victor, right? And Nikki. What would she have to go after Chancellor for?
That is true. I don't know. I honestly was thinking maybe Aristotle was actually Holden. I didn't start thinking that until the news came out that he's going to be on contract. So he's going to be around for a little while. And that would be the only person I can think of that would trust Damien to run those companies. And maybe, I don't know. It's just something about the fact that Holden is sticking around. He could have left and went to LA at any point.
Mm-hmm.
He could have worked from LA. And I think Damien had told him that. You don't have to be here. He's choosing to be here. Be in Genoa City. So it makes you wonder if he's trying to keep tabs on everyone and everything, because he just sits in the corner, he sits in the bar, and he observes and he listens.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me wonder if it could be him. But it could be Billy Flynn, the guy that's coming in from GH. It could be a lot of people. We were hoping it was Kane, but they didn't destroy that.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see. I mean, it should be, because according to the spoilers, the guy, Billy Flynn, was supposed to hit landfall spring. Okay? The thing is, we got 4 weeks left into quote-unquote spring. So, I mean, with Amanda coming out to be a part of everything, it's a possibility that Aristotle might be in tow. And she's popping in on Friday, the 16th.
It'd be so good to see Michelle Morgan and Jenny Arthur. That would be my dream come true if it was Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
It fits. It would fit as to why he wants to look into Chancellor. That makes perfect sense, especially since everyone's icing him out in his own family, and he is technically a Chancellor. And then now that Victor's running it, and the fact that he got Glissade, like, he would have a purpose of coming to Genoa City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But this right here, and then plus if Trevor St. John were to come back and play Tucker, I would have loved for him and Phyllis to finally
Okay,
get together.
they're correcting us. Billy Flynn is from Days of Our Lives, not GH.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. Uh, not an ABC soap
Me either.
watcher.
And Days, I don't. Does Days come on? Is it streaming or is it on like Channel 5? I don't watch Days or GH. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
I think one of them. I think one is streamed. The other is. I think Days is the one that might be streamed.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think J Money would know actually.
Yeah, he definitely would know because I know he watched the other soaps.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on a bit. We got this other thing going on between Mariah and Tessa. And honestly, I think there is a slow moving romance train between Daniel and Tessa. I don't care what they say about, because I think they said Josh Griffith said, oh, it's just going to be a close friendship. I don't believe anything that come out of these folks' mouths, because if they told us everything, we won't be shocked by what happens, right? So it's nice to give us spoilers and teasers, but just like the whole Liam thing, Bold is notorious for giving out false spoilers. So I'm just going to take that. We'll get to that when we talk about Bold, but I'll just take that with a grain of salt, whether this man is going to be a goner or not. And as for Tessa and Daniel and Mariah, I honestly believe Mariah had an affair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, both ladies have been with men and women, obviously. So I guess we'll find out who she had an affair with, if that's the case. I don't know. It could be. But she keeps throwing Ian in this. And it's like, why are you talking about Ian? Did you sleep with Ian? We do know he's alive. Why do you keep bringing up Ian?
That was honestly my thought. We were talking about that in our group chat.
You guys. Go ahead.
Me and Keish were talking about it because the way that she was talking, especially for Monday's episode, it kind of made it seem like maybe she did. I honestly feel it's a guy that she cheated with.
Well, somebody in the chat said that there is a rumor, I won't call it a spoiler, that Mariah is also pregnant by whoever she's going to be cheated with. That she cheated. I don't know. That would be crazy.
That would be hilarious.
Right.
That would give like some sort of interest in their storyline. Because I keep forgetting that they're together. But this right here, like the fact that she can't even tell Sharon, and Sharon knew all about the other times that she's cheated and who she cheated with and everything. And Sharon can already see, like, yeah, I know you cheated, but she can't say who
she cheated with.
It is.
Right. Okay. Melissa said maybe she found out that Ian is alive and she unalived him. But why wouldn't you tell Tessa or Sharon that? That would be, in so many words, vindication. Especially for Sharon.
Yeah, and I think she would be a little bit more maybe relieved.
Exactly, that's what I mean, I honestly think it's an affair somewhere.
Yeah, because she said that she had some drinks and at the bar, and she was emotional, and yeah, and then just the way that she paints it, I feel like she's cheated.
So here's the interesting thing. Most times, if you're going to keep a secret like this, obviously she didn't even tell Sharon, but she told her something was wrong. You're going to try to walk around and be normal as possible. But how can you say, don't ever say anything, Tessa can never know, but you're walking around ignoring her, you're leaving the house early, coming home late. You're giving off an energy that something's wrong, but you don't want it to ever come out. How you going to live like that for the next, till death do us part? There's no way you're going to be able to do that. That doesn't make sense.
And Tessa already senses something is wrong. She's like, you don't even want to sit down and have dinner with me and our daughter.
Right. So how you going to keep a secret like that if you can't even be around? You know how some people, and listen, I'm not condoning cheating. I'm just describing. Somebody might cheat, and then they keep it a secret and go on with their day like it's normal.
Right.
To take it to their grave. Go ahead.
And remember when Mariah finally came back, I think last week, the way that she hugged Tessa, like
she was
like, no, the way that she hugged her is like she felt like she was on borrowed time, so she was soaking her in.
Mm-hmm.
It just made it seem like she did something wrong. And if she did something, let's say she did unalive Ian, I feel like she would have a completely different reaction with Sharon.
Right.
They're like, the fact that you just don't want Tessa to know, that kind of hinted to me that she cheated.
Right. Now, switching gears, what about this, I would say, budding chemistry between Tessa and Daniel?
I mean, we called it last year.
Yeah,
and
we did.
You know,
that was a chem test.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they did several chem tests. We pointed that out, you know, and they keep proving our point.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I don't know. Because, I mean, they even changed Tessa's appearance. She's wearing the blonde hair now.
And she looks better.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm wondering, why did they decide to go that route? I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, she looks pretty.
It looks pretty, yeah, but they made her do this when the storyline changed.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe that was a creative thing.
I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, do you like Daniel and Tessa as a couple? If they could progress this along?
That's the key thing. They need to progress it along a little bit more, but I think that they fit. I think they, since what, I don't know, it was Christmas or New Year's, when they were at, what's the name of that restaurant? Abby's restaurant, when she was closing. Society, when they were at Society and she was taking down the decor, it looked like they were about to have a little, you know, something there. I was on board even since then. Okay. So the fact that they're revisiting this, I love it. And I love that we had several moments where they did different chem tests and they fit. Yeah. I think they would make a really cute couple, as they just cannot be boring.
Yeah. Let me ask the chat, you guys in the chat. Give me a 1 if you like Tessa and Daniel. A 2 if it's a no to Tessa and Daniel. So a 1 for yes or a 2 for no. I'm curious to see what they think. Go ahead and drop it in there now. And I know it's a little bit of a delay, so let's see what they say. Okay, here we go. Brooklyn likes it. Melissa's no. Blackpink, me, yes. Jenny, yes. Cynthia, yes. Nicole, no. I don't know, Gail says. But we got a lot of 1s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Indigo Blue said 2. Myra said 1. Okay, so for the most part, people are kind of seeing the chemistry there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did V. Carter say? He said 1, but they let Tessa storyline unalive.
Every time.
Yeah, they do.
I gotta shout out this name. This is a person in chat that says, "Let's talk with your friendly neighborly cat lady."
Love that.
That is too cute. Welcome in. I never seen that name. I guess she's been listening to the podcast. So welcome in, Miss Cat Lady.
Welcome. I love that. It's so adorable.
We got Lady Linda in the chat too. Welcome in, Miss Linda.
some new faces.
Some new
Thank you, guys.
faces. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We like to see new people over here alongside our OGs, as Bree would call them, our usual suspects. So it's good to have all you. There's a Asaya in the chat. That's a new one. Keena Maynard. I see a lot of new names. That girl. Wow. A lot of newbies in my chat. Welcome in. Oh, that's what it is. She said, "Hi, I'm always in the background." So you've been listening to us for a while, Miss Cat Lady. Well, welcome.
She's like, I'm joining the chat.
You're right. She said, "Listen, I be ninja watching."
Like, I want to come join the chat. I got some things to say. We appreciate that.
Right. We welcome all of the new soapies, like Blackpink Me says. And for the newbies, primarily on this channel, and I should have mentioned it at the beginning of the show, we do our lives weekly. It usually, let me think, probably after the third week of this month up until the middle of next month, we might go back to Friday nights. And then it'll probably go back to the weekend. But I do primarily the live chats on this channel weekly, and I do Bold and the Beautiful recaps and spoilers on this channel. There are two other channels that Bree just dropped in the chat. And if you want only YNR, it's called YNR Unfiltered. That is that channel over there. And then for the Beyond the Gates, and when the show, oh my God, I gotta, what's the name of this? Oh, Sisters. Sisters will also, the recaps will be over there as well on The Shade and the Beautiful. So I'm going to not only have the daily recaps for Beyond the Gates on The Shade and the Beautiful, but the also the Sisters. If you watch Sisters that come on, the season should be back up, I think, in June or July, right, Bree? Is it June?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be back around this summer. So that would be on that channel alongside Beyond the Gates. And then, of course, YNR Unfiltered is all things Genoa City. All right. Back to what we was talking about. But welcome in, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I'm curious to find out what the secret Mariah has. Did she cheat? I'm wondering, who's to say Daniel and Tessa won't trip up and maybe share a kiss or something, and she got to keep that a secret. Who knows?
Well, they'll say they're going to make some beautiful music together, which I got a lot to say about Daniel doing.
Girl, you see Jacqueline in the chat. She said put Mariah with Damien.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that one.
I gotta envision. I need a minute to process that. And the thing is, we want to put him with somebody great on this show, especially after Lily was a complete letdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all trying to think of better people.
I know, right? Lady Linda says her too is always in the background because I'm normally cooking and listening. Girl, what you cooking over there?
Right, and we didn't get anything.
Where's my plate? Alright, so enough about Tessa and Daniel. We'll see what happened with them. Moving on, because we did kind of touch on the Aristotle thing when it came to Lily. We still got another Aristotle thing when it comes to Billy. And we kind of talked about the two couples. Or did we talk about that offline? Maybe it was, I kind of touched on it a little bit, I guess. But of course we saw both Sally and Chelsea walk away from Marquetti, which meant the exit of Summer, at least for right now, from the way that it sounds, which also meant Allison Lanier left the show on May 2nd. Okay, which was obviously last Friday when we talked about that a little bit. Well, with obviously the way that they moved the pieces around, both Sally and Chelsea are working with their boyfriends, Billy and Adam, which Billy and Adam are known nemesis. So now we have a whole different storyline where two ladies who were knee deep in the fashion industry decided to go work with these two in order now to pit them against each other. Yeah, I'm not feeling that storyline. I'm sorry. I don't even like the couple. So go ahead.
It's such a shocker. We couldn't pick this out of the lineup if we wanted to. The writing was on the wall with this. I just don't. This doesn't make any sense. As much as these women were crying and griping about doing fashion. Fashion is my life. Fashion is this. And then they're also complaining about the positions that they're in because they want to try to do good and do this. I'm like, you guys realize the men that you are with.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is always going to be a competition. Even if they were to switch and go back to the original partners, if Sally were with Adam and if Chelsea were with Billy, it would be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would change. Mm-hmm. And I think the person I really don't feel sorry for is Chelsea.
she knew better. I mean, Sally has had a taste, but I mean, she's on the opposite side. Billy's gonna do what Billy's gonna do, and Sally's gonna be able to move how she wants to. Whereas Chelsea is in the middle of both Victor and Adam. She's in the middle, or should I say, Adam is in the middle of the two of them, because Chelsea want to do this the right way, and Victor, who owns the conglomerate, wants to do it his way.
Yeah, and the fact that she thought she was really ever going to have a say, and she even called it out. She called it out and said, like, is this going to be Victor's test of loyalty? What do you think, girl?
Yeah, what do you think, ma'am? You remember Victor was the one that had you sleep with Billy in Myanmar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you got started.
And just the fact that she would even question that and then look to Adam and says, like, we're going to do the right thing. You're not going to do this to Billy. You're not going to do this to harm Billy. I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
Even if Adam didn't do it, Victor would still use his media company to still trash Billy. So then what are you going to do? Yeah, are you going to quit and then go to what?
Exactly. There is nothing Chelsea can do. And because Adam still wants his daddy's approval, like his niece.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that in a minute, because somebody in the chat was like, can we talk about Claire and Kyle? Yes, we will. Just like Adam wants his daddy's approval, he's going to probably do what Daddy Dearest wants. And Chelsea is going to be looking crazy. But you already know what you were walking into.
Yeah, and didn't Cuckoo Chloe warn her about this? I was cracking up on something.
Listen, it's like, oh, I just forgot everything I went through in the past. And so, you know what? Yeah, Victor's going to be different this time. Adam is going to be able to control his father. I don't understand why people, even Claire, think that somebody's going to be able to change Victor's mind and it's not going to go his way. He owns everything.
Yes. He wins the game of Monopoly every episode.
Look at what Keena said in the chat. She said Adam will never be his own man until Victor leaves this planet.
Yeah, that's sad but true. That really is. He wants to live up to the name that he was given because he's Victor Adam Newman. He wants to live up to that name and get, some form of validation from Victor. And I feel like Victor's probably put him through probably the worst of things out of all his children.
Yep.
And he uses Adam for a lot of his dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still seeking the validation.
Yep. I got to call out this super chat. Thank you, Mari, for the super chat, super stickers. Says happy Sunday to everyone and hope is well. All is well, probably what she was saying. Happy Mother's Day to the ladies in the chat and you ladies as well. Much love. Thank you so much. We love you too, Mari, and happy Mother's Day to you as well.
Yeah, we love you, Mari. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
All right. So, yeah, this whole thing where, Victor is, I mean, he got so many moving parts. He's going after Billy, he's going after Jack, he's going after Kyle. I mean, it's just, I'm like, this man lives on chaos.
Exactly. And he has the money to spend to get what he needs done. Everybody's his minion. He owns practically almost majority of the businesses there.
Yep.
Chancellor and Newman Enterprises and Newman Media. His kids work for him. Their kids' spouses work for them. All of them.
Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much. Which also, with these two couples, throw Phyllis in the mix because Billy decided to kick Phyllis to the curb because of the fact that, she was going through all of this stuff and, she had to have Daniel on board, and Daniel is like, no, leave me alone. I want to play my guitar. And so she finds out that, Billy replaced Sally with her, and she left a threat on the table, which looks like the week of the 12th through the 16th, she's going to make good on that threat by going to the one person who she cannot stand, which is Victor.
Yeah, she really vengeful for that because she swears up and down. We were just talking about this. She warned Summer not to go to her granddaddy for a favor because you have to live up to those favors whenever he wants to get back to you and try to get a favor out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a favor for a favor.
Yep.
So I'm like, what is she trying to secure? Is she trying to secure a job over in Newman Media now?
Oh, no, because she wants to make a deal. So I don't know what she knows that Victor wants this Aristotle information and information on what Billy is going to do. Well, stupidly, it looks like both Billy and Sally decide to sit up in a public restaurant and have this kind of conversation instead of at his house. And sure enough, Phyllis is listening. She get the deets, and as we saw in the promo, yeah, Phyllis wants to make a deal with the incarnate himself.
And I'm like, here's another woman who needs a man on this show, who needs a hobby on this show. Like she loves chaos. She loves the mess. And to be honest, I don't even feel bad for Billy because he told this woman all of his secrets, his plans, everything, all the stuff that was going with Aristotle Duma, all his reasoning for why he wants to still try to go after Chancellor. She knows everything. Well, with no NDA, by the way.
Right. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is where I have an issue with Phyllis, with this thing. Now, I get it. She mad at Billy. Billy was also the one that saved her life. Okay? Why would you throw the same man under the bus who saved your life? Granted, he made a decision. He said, listen, you need to go sit down and get your head on straight. Your son don't want to work here. I need you 100%. If you're not 100%, I can't have you here. That is, to me, that's a sound business decision.
Right. And now, I feel like he didn't say no altogether, that she could never work there. He just wants her to have her head on straight to where she's just focused on the job for herself and not for herself and her son.
Well, here's the other thing. If she was going to say anything to anybody, I would have rather her went to Jack. Because his money is tied up in this.
But would Jack actually listen to her?
I mean, if she gave concrete information, because Jack already knows that he's dealing with Aristotle Duma and And if she finds, if he, I mean, if, she told him, listen, this is what Billy has planned to do with Aristotle Duma, which is to pit the two of them together. They may have been able to come up with more of a deal than her going to the one person that she hates the most, who could screw her over. At least Jack might figure out a way to use this on his own behalf. Maybe pull Billy on the coattail. Like, listen, I know you trying to pit Aristotle and Victor against each other. Let's figure out a way to make this work. Don't go to Victor.
I would love for that to work. I feel like there's a couple of stumbling blocks when it comes to Phyllis and Jack. One of them is going to be Diane, and I forgot about this stuff with Diane this week too. One is going to be Diane, and the other thing is he already used Phyllis and had promised something, had promised like a position or something or a way to help her out, and he completely disregarded her. I feel like if she had a closer relationship with Jack, she would have went to Jack, but she's a lone wolf, so she's probably going to go to the highest bidder who can at least offer her something, and everyone always goes to Victor.
Yeah, it's just not a smart. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I would have wanted her to go that route instead of going to somebody who she truly knows in the hearts of hearts that she even warned her own daughter against, that would eventually probably screw her or blow up in her face. At least Jack could have been like, oh, that's what Billy's doing? He gonna pit them two against each other? Okay, maybe we can figure out a way to, or he could have used the information. Victor is going to take that information and throw her out to the trash.
Yeah. I mean, the only smart thing that she could do for herself is act like she's making a deal with Victor, Victor, and play him, and then give that information to Billy to try to win her position back or something. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what she's gonna ask of him.
What she want in return for that information? That's gonna be interesting. I know she's not gonna want a job.
I think I would bank on her wanting to work over at Newman Media. I think because I think so, because I would definitely stick it to Billy in a lot of different ways, working with his greatest enemy.
Yeah.
And the chick who cheated on.
You're so funny. Matter of fact, you did bring up Diane. Billy didn't like the house, and so he because he don't see remnants of his father in the home. And so we had that conversation. I want to get to Claire and Kyle, but I didn't want to skip over the fact that you brought up the thing about Diane.
Oh, I was saying I forgot about that. I mean, she can't expect for people just to be happy. Not everyone's going to like what you do. For the most part, everyone liked the house.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy is still going to be Billy. And Jack made a point, like, he doesn't even live there. But I understand that's still his father's house, and he wanted to feel some sense of his dad there. And, I understand Jack's saying, like, oh, he's in your heart and everything. And I get that point. But for Billy, he's entitled to how he feels. And I don't understand why she's so emotional about Billy not liking it and her still not feeling like a part of the family.
I gotcha.
I'm like, what more do you want, girl?
Yeah, I mean, she is really trying to make her mark, and it's like, ma'am, it's been about a year and a half, almost 2 years. How long they been married now? About a year and a half?
I would say, I think they're hitting almost a 2-year mark now.
Okay, so I guess she wants to make her mark in the house somehow, along with what the Abbotts already have there. I mean, I think it's nice what they did with the set, but it wasn't like, mind-blowing to me, I guess. I'm like, oh, okay.
It reminded me of Chancellor.
Yeah, maybe that's what they did. They just flipped some stuff around. Because we haven't seen the Chancellor Mansion, which is where Devon and Abby is supposed to be staying. So
it looks exactly like the Chancellor estate. The stairs, like the mirror above the fireplace, like that's exactly what it reminded me of. But I mean, it's not the designs. I mean, the paint looks nice.
yeah.
I
Did you see
mean,
Dewan? He said the house was ugly before and it's still ugly now. Dewan, you are hilarious.
oh, we love you,
I mean,
Dewan.
honestly, I thought they was gonna do something like they were in that hotel for so long. I think for a good TV month, right? And I'm thinking like,
Yeah,
dang, we're gonna get the shock of our lives, or something outstanding. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was my reaction. Oh, okay.
I don't think nothing's uglier than Sharon's house
Girl, that ain't changed that house in I don't know how long.
in decades.
Mm-mm.
It's still ugly. Like that's my least favorite set, personally
Right.
speaking.
All right, and so before we move on, we got to talk about. Oh, we didn't see what happened with Cole. Last thing we know, he is isolated at the hotel, and then nothing. We don't know if the man tested positive for anything. He's just there, and we didn't hear anything the rest of the week. So get well soon, Cole. That's all I know. And
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in the spoilers about Cole either, so I don't know. Maybe he's just gonna fade into the background or something. We'll be back in like August, and he gonna be like, "Oh, I'm out of, you know, whatever
Victoria
seclusion."
would have moved on with her new man.
Yeah. Oh man. Now we gotta talk about Kyle and Claire. Claire, oh Claire. Baby girl wants her granddaddy's approval. And she's
And she,
doing whatever it takes. They plan on moving in the house together. They recruited Adam. Adam actually had a little bit more of a friendlier conversation with them than I expected. But at the end of the day, he was like, money is money. Y'all want the house? Y'all gonna buy it? Cool. Don't bother me none. You know.
yeah, I was surprised by that exchange. And, I mean, he doesn't have anything to really be mad at Claire about now,
Mm-mm.
since everyone's pretty much forgiven her for
Yeah, but he
almost
don't like
unaliving most of
Kyle
his.
though.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, okay, maybe he's not going to do it because of Kyle, but I think he kept it friendly because of Claire, because she's technically his niece.
But you know why she
So,
did it. Remember, she said the reason that if Adam sells the house to them, that should help her grandfather loosen up a bit because Adam is supporting us. And I'm like, and even Adam said, listen, out of all my siblings, I had to go through the worst. What makes you think he gonna listen to me?
yeah, she keeps getting all this sound advice that she refuses to listen to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Jasmine say in the chat, Jasmine said Claire needs a seat. Sick of her trying to please Grandpa.
She's getting a seat. She's definitely getting a seat for Monday's episode, too.
Listen, you guys, and I know some of you all watch a day ahead. If you've seen the Monday's episode, Claire's doing too much, and it looks like it's getting on Kyle's nerves, and I don't
Yep.
blame him.
He pretty much almost through with the whole scenario. He's entertaining it because of her, but he pointed out everything that we've been saying on the show, and she's still like,
Girl, and then she got the nerve to ask him, "You don't even want to try? What you think this man been doing all these weeks with you?"
yeah. I'm
He
like,
had dinner with
you're
the
trying his
man.
patience now.
Right. He sat down face to face and had dinner with that man. And Victor got up from that table and walked out. What do you mean he don't want to try?
Yeah, I can't with this girl. And
Wait a minute, wait,
same
Bree,
approval.
You're not clear.
I'm not clear.
Okay, now you are.
Okay.
Go
Is
ahead.
that better?
Yep.
Okay. All she wants is the same approval that Summer got. That's all she belly aching about.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And I can't even feel sorry for this girl when she blows up her own relationship. She can't blame Victor. She can't blame Audra. Nobody. Summer's not around.
Mm-hmm. I
For her
mean,
trying to
yeah.
chase after Victor, approval is going to end her relationship.
And then she gonna blame it on him.
Like, you didn't try hard enough to please my grandpa.
Girl. It's like, and then the fact that, Victor keep talking about, oh my God, she's so young, and I'm like, she ain't no shrinking violet.
Like, she tried to unalive half of her family.
I mean, the girl ain't stupid. She plotted with her aunt. She been to college. I'm surprised, not saying that, she's expected to get with somebody in college, but yeah, this is the same girl that remember the way they had written her in the beginning. She was the same girl that asked Nate out for drinks or coffee.
Yeah.
And now y'all want to make her, oh, she's so young, and this is her new relationship, and she's going to get her heart broken. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Victor.
You guys need to check out Monday's episode if you haven't. And yeah, the preview saying that she wants to throw a party. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to be?
See, okay, Cynthia said Claire is just immature and really not ready to live with Kyle. Nikki turned on her very quickly. That is tomorrow's episode. Now, this is what I want to say about the immaturity. The writers screwed us on that one. Because when they brought her to town, she had her hair in a bun, a business suit, showing up, peeping around corners, asking people out for coffee, being sneaky, and she looked like the grown 27-year-old woman that she was. They aged her backwards with putting her in like high school, little house on the prairie, hope for the future clothes, as Bree would call it, and
Yes.
having her looking like she was going to the 10th grade. And then want to have everybody baby her. Oh, she's so impressionable. She don't know the real world. Please. That's the
And
problem. So I understand where you're coming from, Cynthia. The thing is that the writer started out with Claire one way and reversed her over the past year. Go ahead, Bree.
and this is why I keep saying this is not a good scenario for this girl. Like, I understand age wise she's an adult, but she can't expect to be Harris's stepmom while she's still trying to seek approval from her own grandfather about her adult relationship.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why I feel like she needs to get maybe some relationships underneath her belt, some experiences underneath her belt. And I feel like Kyle's eventually going to feel this is going to get old and he's going to want a woman. She's not a woman yet. She's still not.
To me, Bree, they should have just left her alone. Kept her on the same okay, she could have still been Victoria's daughter without
Right.
making her almost the same age as her sister in mindset. I mean, even what's her Katie?
Yeah.
Katie is probably moving more of a level of intelligence at a higher level than her own age. Versus, and then they tried to doll her down too for a minute because she came in one way, and then they switched her up too. And it's like, okay, I can. She's like 13 or whatever. That's expected. But they should have. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you see how they changed Lucy.
Right. But they should have just kept her on the same as she came in. She could have still been Victoria's daughter and be Ice Queen Jr.
Right. Exactly. And just I don't understand why the writers want to make this girl go after this man's approval. especially to this extent. And everyone in her family, even her mother, is saying Victor's not going to change. The woman married to him, Nikki, is saying he's not going to change. This is who he is. He doesn't care what you think. He is going to make matters worse because that's what he does. And he did such and such to us, so we can vouch for this man is terrible when he has his version of love.
Yep. So.
And she's like, okay, let's throw a party.
Yeah, I have a feeling like we were talking about earlier, and then we're going to move on to bold. When we was talking about earlier with regards to, Audra and this plan that Victor has for her is the fact, to try to break them two up. Now, the interesting thing is both Claire and Kyle are already on the defense when it comes to Audra, knowing that she's a part of this plan. But I have a feeling with this so-called party she wants to plan, Audra's obviously probably going to be invited. And Victor might like, oh, I need to have you come over here to talk business for a few minutes and then you can leave, whatever. And probably set something in motion. Or there's the spoiler you talked about, Bree, where, they're worried about Kyle getting back into his old ways. He might get pissed off if maybe Claire breaks up with him and he's like, you know what, I'm finna burn the whole world down. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that Victor might purposefully cause issues at the party, making it frustrating for Kyle, for Audra to make her move.
Exactly. Even if it's something, she might not necessarily kiss him or do anything, but put them in a compromising position in order to get Claire to react. So we'll see.
Dewan said, Audra, now that's a woman. Yeah, she's a woman / mattress. Yes, she is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like Cynthia just said, Kyle start to get tired of this childlike relationship with Claire, and that's when Audra will pounce.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him. Because, this man has been married, divorced, he has a child, he needs a whole woman. And it's not just the age, it's the mental mindset.
Well,
so she can be a mother figure.
And the thing is, like Kyle says, and I hate to start jumping into Monday's episode, I know some of you guys have seen it. He told her, everybody, our family, he's the only one. He's the only one. You got approval for everybody else. There's no validation to it. My family loves you. Your mom, your dad, Nikki, maybe. I would say 50-50 now after tomorrow's episode. But she support you. Adam is ready to sell us the house and all of that. At what point do you just say, forget about Grandpa, let's just move on? And she's not willing to do that. So
he laid down all the facts, everything, and she's still like, you don't want to try?
You don't want to try? Yeah, girl.
I'm like,
bye. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. The spoilers are out. There is a spoiler video that is already on YNR Unfiltered. I think Bree put the link in the chat earlier a couple of times. So for the week of the 9th through the did I say the 16th? The 9th. Tomorrow's the 12th. The 12th through the 16th. The spoilers are up. So you can go and check it out over there. Alright. We're going to move into the bold and the beautiful. And I would say, oh, wrong one. Bold. I'm going to pretty much say we had like 1.5 storylines this week. Majority of this past week was about Liam's illness and, him not wanting to tell Hope. Also, Steffy couldn't take it any longer. So as much as we had been talking about a few weeks back that somebody needed to say something, a lot of people thought maybe Steffy should say something. Well, you got your wish. The girl dropped the tea. on Liam to Hope, and there was an interesting bonding moment. We had Carter simping once again this week to try to get back with Hope, and you can tell. I mean, when a woman hesitates, you didn't put your heart on the line and everything. She called your butt over there. She kind of wanted to clear the air, and she, he's like, "Let's make this work," and she don't give you an answer. She needs some time. When it comes to Hope saying she needs some time, just chalk that up as never. Okay. Um, we had that, and then we had a little bit of the meeting of the minds with Sheila and Sheila Jr. So
Baby Sheila.
baby Sheila. All right. I guess let's get Carter out the way because I mean, and I feel sorry for Daphne because she's gorgeous, and for her to be begging this man, leave Hope, come be with me, and he was, yeah.
Yeah, she'll be all right this week from what it looks like. But I
Yeah.
agree. She's a beautiful woman, and he has a woman who's trying to give her full attention to him.
Mm-hmm.
She's not playing any games. Clearly, she's successful. She saw the arrow of his ways and appreciates the man that he is, something that Hope has yet to do as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why he's so zeroed in on Hope after the fact she put him in past tense. This woman hasn't even apologized for her own actions within the coup still. And just the fact that she is being like, everyone else has to convince her to want to be with them. It's not even something that she wants.
Yeah.
He's the only one in trying to fight for this relationship.
That's what makes this thing so crazy. How many times would you rather for a man or a woman to say, okay, yes, let's work this out, versus you begging for them that you just figure you're gonna wear them down enough that they just be like, okay, fine. I would rather if I'm like, hey, let's work this out. Okay, let's do it. Versus, oh my God, here he go again. I don't know. I need time. It's like, dude, how many times she got to tell you? And he's about to get hit in the face this week when he overhears a conversation.
Because the Foresters got the company back, about a month and a half ago?
Girl, I think it was March. We're in
And
May.
yeah, and she still needs time. All she had was time on her hands. She ain't got no job.
Right.
I'm just saying. Like, how much soul search? See, she can afford to soul search because she was never ever concerned about a job because she's living on an estate.
Mm-hmm.
But wanted this man to quit to prove his loyalty to her. Mm-hmm. And if that didn't prove anything to this man and he's still begging this way, I can't feel sorry for him.
Girl, yeah, I mean, Daphne needs to stop begging Carter, and Carter needs to stop begging Hope.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what's going to happen with this week, especially with the clip showing that, he overhears Hope and everything. Daphne might finally get her man.
Yeah, probably later in the week because, I mean, that should be enough for Carter. Now, obviously, according to the spoilers, Liam is going to continuously try to push Hope back to Carter, which I'm assuming Carter didn't hear that part of the conversation. But he did hear Hope saying I think from what I understand, it's supposed to be something like coming to the fact that she realizes that she want to be with him during, whatever. Carter, if you hear a woman that you claim to love want to be with another man, yeah, I think that's your cue.
Yeah.
But then we
I
saw
mean,
that preview with him telling Brooke he's not going to give up on her. So I don't know the sequence of the spoilers being shown. Maybe that happened before he heard the conversation. I don't know.
right. I mean, that could have been his reason for going over there.
Right.
Um, but he left, and this is why I was saying last week, he left a door open and said, I'm going to give you time. How much time does she need?
Listen, you know
After
how
a month
much
and a
time
half.
she told Thomas she need time over a proposal. Yeah. How did that work out for him, Carter?
He over in Paris, oui, and you
Right.
got a whole French woman right there in your face.
Right.
You know, I wonder if Daphne would ever get desperate to the point to create what is it called? Like a special type of fragrance,
Like a potion or something.
pheromones,
Yeah.
like a pheromones.
I don't know. Um, I really like that. You know, see, those were two couples I was really interested in a while back, which was, of course, Damien and Lily at that time. And I was
Mhm.
interested in these two. But it just looks so pathetic when this man is chasing that woman and this woman is like, please let her go. And he's looking at you like, I'm not giving up on hope. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, and he's also not going to give up on the fact that he wants her to come back to Fortune Creations. Ridge already done told her what she needs to do.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Obviously, this was a quick. Liam's illness is a quick fix, maybe, for Hope and Steffi. Because these two were on opposite ends of the spectrum with what happened. And we actually got a moment of civility and emotion with these two because of Liam. Do you do
I
you think that this is a because what is Hope gonna do? She's not going to the pizza joint, okay? Eventually, and Annika Noel ain't going nowhere, and they're not gonna have her just sitting around the house. So she's gonna have to do something.
I think in order for an olive branch, that girl would need to kind of apologize for the error of her own ways. Like if she's just handed her job back, I feel like this everything that's happened with this whole coup thing was really for nothing. Because in the storyline with the whole Liam thing was for nothing because
Oh, it
it's
wasn't
got
for nothing, girl. It was to get a new contract for the next 3 years.
oh yeah, that's a
Cause
good
that
point.
all
Yeah.
happened before that contract came out.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I hope we also kind of had to eat some humble pie because I think Steffi can separate the two issues. I think she even did that when she was speaking with Liam. She's like, look, my issues with Hope have nothing to do with your illness. You have nothing to do with my issues because that's a business matter. Even when Steffi came to Hope to tell her the news, Hope was like, oh, are you going to give me my job back? She's like, it's not about business. So she can separate the two.
Yeah,
They're going to have that mutual bond because of their daughters when it comes to Liam.
Yeah, but I
But the
just
business part,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say the business part is a separate thing, I feel.
I just think this is a redemption arc because I mean, she gonna have to have something to do. She's one of the bigger players on the show. I mean, Hope and Steffi has been obviously at odds, and she's always worked at Forrester. So maybe not now in this moment, but as Liam gets sicker and sicker, supposedly, and these two got these girls that they trying to keep together and stuff. Everybody's all emotional and whatnot. I just think this is a redemption arc from coming off of that we stole the company thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I,
You don't know.
and my thing is bringing Hope. Why would they bring her? Hope for the Future was a failure because its leader was a failure.
Belle be doing some stupid stuff. So
Yeah, I'm like, she's still gonna bring ugly fashion. It's not gonna do anything.
Right, but I mean, and that makes sense the way that the storyline has been built over the past year. But what are you gonna do with the character? She's pigeonholed right now.
Yeah. Hasn't learned her lesson, doesn't feel apologetic. She's just basically going to be handed her line back if they're going to go with that route. Be
Mm-hmm.
basically handed her line back, same way she was handed her line in the first place, straight out of high school.
Okay, so Tanisha Gray in the chat says she saw pictures of Hope and Steffi at the office, so she will be back.
Ugh.
I figured as much. There's no way they could leave Annika Nicole with nothing to do.
Oh goodness. Um, I'm gonna just hope that she apologizes. It would be like humbling for the character, but we shall see.
Well, Liam is the key to all of this, and there's spoilers where it seems like Ridge and Taylor is saying that she did the right thing, and so obviously with Liam dying, everybody is going to be soft-hearted. Supposed to be in a huge emotional week coming up, and all this kind of stuff because he's supposed to be looking worse and worse over time. So everybody's going to be all I think it's going to kind of mellow everybody out. Everybody was so angry coming off the takeover. Now, we see Ridge forgiving Carter, giving him props on him bringing in business ideas. So obviously that's smoothed over. And
Mm-hmm.
and then now with Liam throwing these two ladies into the mix because they have kids by them, I think everybody's going to end up being soft-hearted. She's going to end up right back over there, Forrester. Which,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Is boring. There's that would be the whole storyline. So everything's going to be centered around Liam and this whole summer, pretty much. There's nothing going on with Forrester. We finally got a fashion show,
mm-hmm.
but there's nothing else going on besides the baby Sheila thing. But I don't know. We shall see. And it sounds like she's going to get in a relationship with Liam and probably in hopes that he would tell her himself.
Oh no, they're trying to make it like this dude is out. He's gonna be a goner. And even Scott Clifton was like, he only knows so much because the script. He don't even know what's gonna happen to Liam. It's possible Bill finds out he's a billionaire. He might have some fancy schmancy neurologist come over from out and boom, magical cure. Him and Hope because the thing is, they've been at odds for 2 years coming up. That was 2023 when they had the big divorce and blah blah blah. And Thomas and that whole Thope thing, right? At
Mm-hmm.
some point, if they kept Liam around, them two obviously because it looked like we thought that this might break. They might break up Steffi and Finn. Look like that ain't going nowhere. Look like he gonna keep what?
I got a theory about that, but go ahead.
I mean, if they're not gonna put Carter with Hope, I just have a feeling they're just gonna put Lope back together, especially if he survives this whole thing.
Yeah. And it sounds like anything but Carter is an option for her.
Well, there's Daphne, but for him, that is.
Yeah, for him.
So I don't know. I'm not a fan of. I didn't like the Eric storyline. I don't like this one. We were talking about all the doom and gloom from previous years. And then him not want to tell nobody, and I know everybody has their, because I know Bree, you have your opinions on some things, and
Mm-hmm.
me, I have my opinion on some things. I just don't like this whole thing with his children, because they're gonna
Yeah.
if he the way he wants it, He's just gonna be up and gone, and the family is gonna have to put the pieces together to try to explain this to these kids.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was hoping he would tell his dad, especially since we got to see on Friday that they moved past their issues and they're, you know, in good standing with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I understand it creates a lot of different, topics for discussion, and it's going to tug on a lot of heartstrings just as a viewer. I just hate that this is what we're going to expect for this summer. And
Right.
someone even put here that Casey Castlevick said it's going to be a heartbreaking summer. I think Catherine Kelly Lang said the same thing too. And Scott Clifton, he's going to be doing an interview with Michael Fairman on Friday. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a major cliffhanger Friday coming up this week.
I just,
Um,
yeah, I'm just,
I,
I get it. I just wanna, I don't, I really don't like this storyline. I would be, I'm more interested in what's going. I mean, as much as I can't stand Carter simping and Daphne and all of that, I'm just not a fan of these type of storylines. I really, so.
I mean, if we're being honest, it's just a little sad, a little bit boring.
Say that again.
It's just a little sad and can be also a little bit boring. Like, I was just hoping for just more than this,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, you got a new contract, and I get it. Obviously, Scott Clifton is excited about playing this thing out. He hasn't had a huge storyline in a while, except after the whole breakup, in 2023. And when he was going after Steffy, and then that fizzled out. And then he came back to only go after Hope for about a month, and that fizzled out. And now, we got this. So I don't. And like V Carter said, we need new romance, compelling villains, maybe an anti-hero, two new male lead love interests, and corporate rivalry. Hey, V Carter, you said a mouthful. That would be great.
And writers, producers, we know you listen. Please take that suggestion. That would benefit Bold and Beautiful. We're just speaking as your viewers who are watching the show. But I agree, V. Carter, 1,000%. And I think the other anticipating thing is Jack Wagner's coming back as Nick, and we don't know what that's going to mean. It would be nice if they brought the other Maronis back, but I agree. We need villains. We need spice. We need excitement on the show. This is where I miss Thomas so freaking much. Writers, producers, Brad Bell, why is he not back?
I mean, it could be his choice. Maybe, I don't know. I don't see him or his wife working on any projects. They have just been raising their son. So
yeah,
maybe it's a personal choice. Because the thing is, Matt Atkinson came off of one of the biggest storylines that we've seen on Bold in a while, with the thing with Hope and Thomas. And for that, obviously, he got married that fall of November of 2023. They found out they were pregnant in the spring of 2024 or early 2024, because I think they had the baby in November. No. Yes. They had the baby at the end of last fall. So a lot has been going on in Mr. and Mrs. Atkinson's lives. So I don't know. Maybe it's a personal thing, They wanted to focus on family. I don't know.
And that's understandable. But just like Just Myra just said, recast Thomas.
I guess. But the other thing was the contract issues was up in the air.
True.
So before you bring on, and you see, once they got a contract, they was able to bring Jack Wagner back.
Yes. And I had so many different questions just as a viewer, because I loved the Nick character, even though he was incredibly messy when it came to women. But Hope looked up to him as a father figure. I wonder if that's going to come into play. I think somebody had like a thought that maybe Remy was going to be his son Jack or something like that. Like there's just like so many different questions since Bridget is back on the show. Regarding Liam's storyline, will we see Bridget and Nick together? So it creates a lot of questions and interest. But much to V. Carter's point, we need more. There just has to be a shift of some sort of change, some sort of spice, excitement. And Bold is the taboo show.
Yeah.
All they know how to do is push the boundaries. And it's like they'll push it and then it falls flat for a bit. And once again, we love the show. We just want more for the show.
Yep. I totally agree. So, I don't know.
I do too, Janet.
Or even, she said, I miss those dimples. Yeah. Oh, God. So, we'll see what happens, with everything. I mean, Liam is tiptoeing around, was tiptoeing around Hope, and Hope is like, listen, you keep, it's interesting how you want to keep a secret. Him and Mariah, y'all want to keep secrets, but then you moving like something's wrong. How you gonna keep a secret to yourself, but you moving like something's wrong?
Right. And then you can look at Liam and see that he's lost weight. He looks pale on the face. He looks and he keeps wearing the head wrap. I'm like, people are going to say something.
Right.
People who care about you are going to look and see like, okay, something's going on with them.
Yeah.
And he can't fake that. And another thing too, why is this man driving?
I thought he was taking. One of those episodes, he took a car over or something.
Like did a daddy-daughter there.
Yeah. So I don't know. He shouldn't be driving. You getting dizzy spells and headaches and things like that. It's like, dude. But again, soap land. So.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else on this one?
On that storyline, no. I'm good.
I mean, on anything for Bold.
Oh, for Bold, Baby Sheila. It was nice. Why do we only get this girl one episode?
That's what I'm saying. It was so quick. I don't even remember her. I know, yeah, she went over there to see, her dad, but that's all I remember. So, and she snuck on the property, so.
Well, she snuck on Deacon's property, and Sheila's just letting this girl do it.
Right.
And then she's like, I don't care what Steffy has to say. That's still my dad. I'm going to go see my dad. And I'm wondering with this storyline with Liam, is it going to push more of the narrative between Luna and Finn to have a father-daughter relationship now?
It's possible. And from what I understand, it maybe this is, because I don't know if this was, I think it's some sort of a spoiler or whatever about her plans or something. Sheila is probably going to say, use this situation as a way to show your father that we need to build a bond because of what Liam is going through. So it's possible.
Thank you for pointing that out, Mary. She said that Luna just walked into Steffi's house. Aren't they supposed to be on high alert? Luna's dangerous. We need security. We need this. And she just walked into the house.
Yeah, well, I guess.
I'm just, that's just hilarious to me. But did Jacqueline have her baby already, or is she about to?
No idea. She due this month, I think.
Yeah, so we know Steffi's going to be leaving at some point.
Unless she filmed a ton of... Because from what I understand, sometimes, and I think maybe she did this one of her other pregnancies, she filmed so many episodes that it didn't even look like that there was a disappearance. You know what I mean? Or they shifted the focus to a different storyline and then she popped back up when it was her turn. Something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen any. Well, what are they, about 4 to 6 weeks ahead? Something like that.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe so.
So what we're seeing now is probably something from maybe late March, early April that they filmed. So I guess we'll
Yeah,
have
that's a
to
good
see.
point.
We will have to see. All right, we need to talk about, because some folks in my chat was saying that Beyond the Gates threw the other two soaps under the bus this week.
Yes. All of May sweeps, by the way.
Man, I hate to see the guy that's playing Ted leaving. Oh my God.
Oh my god, I'm so, you saw my stuff in the chat. I don't like this at all. Like Beyond the Gates, that was a big L. I don't know what happened beyond the scenes. Can you please release something to your fans, because he has a fan base. As far as we care, that's our Ted. Like, he fits the role so well. The way he talks is like butter. We didn't get to see this man shirtless, which is a travesty. Like, this is unfair to us.
Yeah, I know.
I just
Good
have to
night,
put that out there.
Melissa.
Night, Melissa.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. It just sucks that, and I mean, I've seen the other guy that's coming on. I've seen him in other movies and things like that. I don't know. We became so accustomed to seeing him with Nicole. They have a
Yeah.
on-screen chemistry and everything.
Yes. And he has great chemistry with a lot of them, even Leslie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's just, I don't understand why they did the switch. And here's the thing: we know it happens in soaps. They do, they switch, and recast.
Recast.
Like, we get it. Like, they recasted Thomas how many times? Like, we get
And
it.
Adam too.
Yeah. Like, we get it. It's just like, this is a brand new show, and they just did this recast just like out of nowhere. And I would just like to just hear as to why. Like, if he had if there's like a conflict or something, like he had other projects, that's understandable. But like, the fans who enjoy him on screen, we're like, come on, we didn't get to see him shirtless. No love scene with this man, nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. We had the fallout this week of Eva now being known as Ted's daughter, and that Leslie is Dana, and that she's been maneuvering through different situations and with different names and things like that. We also found out that Bill had his hand in this as well. And then Leslie is just moving through town, showing up at people's houses as if she owned the place. I mean, she showed up at Anita Dupree and her husband's house. Showed up over at Nicole's place. Yeah.
Look, we only got 3 episodes, but these 3 episodes gave us more content, more excitement, more spice, more everything. I was screaming, laughing, the fact that Leslie just walked into these people's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why are you so pressed with your daughter getting along with Dupree's?
Yeah.
She's a Richardson.
Right.
And if Ted and Nicole get a divorce, she's still a Richardson. She would have nothing to do with the Duprees.
Okay, so that's the part that gets me. Why did the Duprees act like, oh wow, you got us on that one? I'm thinking, like, is anybody thinking that that's Ted's kid?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't got nothing to do with y'all, but they were conceding with that DNA test that, oh yeah, she's part of the family. No, not really.
Nope, not at all. Like, she has half siblings, but those half siblings are Duprees.
Right.
Not your daughter.
Exactly.
If that's even if that is your daughter.
Right, because we still have to clarify that part.
Because the way that she treated Eva, that is not a mother, you guys.
Yeah, she is so detached. She locked that girl, kicked her out the house. She slept in a car. She disowned this. You used that girl and then threw her out because she decided to gain a conscience at the 11th hour, though.
Well, I can't even say the 11th hour. It was noon the next day. Because her mother still wreaked havoc on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But your daughter went through with your plan. And this is in regards to her paternity that you were so sure of would be to her benefit. And the fact that she grew a conscience, you want to be vindictive and evil to, quote unquote, your child.
Right.
Locking her out of the house that she probably pays rent into. Pack up her bags. And then tell her to go to her new family, the same family you want to be a part of, by the way.
Well, I think Leslie realized that she shot herself in the foot. Because they didn't, I mean, I don't even know why she expected in her mind that they were going to be like, oh, wow, you're the mistress and this is your kids. Welcome in. I'm so sorry. We didn't know about you.
That's what gets me. Like, girl, you want some sympathy for being a side chick?
Right. Now,
okay, Audra.
Exactly. Now, there was some moving parts that we found out about this, which Martin is just a loose cannon at all times. But,
yeah.
I mean, he was pissed about the fact that he remembered this woman because, as we found out in the Friday of the previous week episode, he was going to that same diner where Dana was working.
I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was with him. I would be incredibly furious if you use me
as a cover.
As a cover so you can go out and cheat on my mother. I would flip a lid. I really would. I would have had a lot of words for my father if it were me.
Yep.
Because that is absolutely crazy. That is diabolical to bring your child into your mess.
Yeah.
And then this girl's talking about like, your brownie or something like that. I'm like, no, you don't get to do that.
Yep. Now, there's a question on the table. So, this happened 20 years ago. And I'm assuming it was a short period of time. It was a long enough for the window of pregnancy. The way Ted and I think Andre and I even think even in so many words Danny was saying was like, look, that was a long time ago. It was 2 decades ago. You know, you guys have been fine ever since. Do you think she should... Okay, this is just open discussion. It's not indicative of how you would move in the situation. This is just soap talk, right? And I'm just saying it like that for the chat as well.
Yeah, soap corner talk.
Yeah. Do you think that they had somewhat of a point? Because I do understand the fact that why Nicole is pissed, because it blew... His secrets blew up in their faces, or her face, his face, whoever.
Right.
He should have had that Andre, because remember, Ted wanted to talk to Nicole. Andre talked him out of it.
True.
Go ahead.
That man had 20-something odd years to tell the truth, though.
I know. I agree with that. I think that Ted should have said, brought this whole conversation up a long time before this. Or technically, he didn't bring it up. Leslie, a.k.a. Dana, blew it up for him. Because other than that, he was just going to keep this a secret. It only came out because of her.
And my thing is, she could have popped up at any time. because she knew who he was married to. That was
Right.
a public figure. She wanted to pop up at any moment. She could have done that.
Yep.
And on top of that, she has a receipt for when he paid her off.
Yep.
And he couldn't have just thought that his side chick, especially as crazy as she is, was just going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And you use Bill to help clean it. I'm like that.
Yeah. So that's a
was,
separate subject. We're gonna talk about that.
yeah.
Belinda Hill said, "I didn't like seeing Martin put his hands on his father."
I didn't like that either. I don't think parents should hit or touch their parents like that.
You mean children?
I'm sorry, children, no matter how grown you are, sorry y'all, should hit or touch their parents like that. But I guess he was in defense mode for his mother, and I get that. But still, that's still your father. You still show some respect. You know, say what you want, argue, yell, scream, but physicality, no.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so we talked a little bit about Leslie being disowned. I mean, not Leslie, Eva being disowned by her so-called mom. She then decided to go to Ted, and Ted was like, "Listen, I don't forgive you, but I don't want you out on the street. I'll pay for a night to stay somewhere and find you an apartment." What did you think about that?
Finn should take note.
Finn, oh,
Like this is what I keep reiterating regarding to Bold. Like, you created a child, regardless of what they've done, regardless of the situation. Eva had a big hand into the mess that was revealed, but at the same time, he had that information from the get-go prior to her being born, and he could have been honest about it.
yeah.
So he can't put that fully on that girl.
Right, he's being a hypocrite.
Right by his daughter.
Exactly, because the thing is, if he was to do that, I mean, yes, I understand he's mad at how all this came out, but it was your secret.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he didn't know that Eva existed as his daughter, but the other part you knew about, you knew you slept with Dana.
Or Leslie or Anna or whoever she is.
Right, and then you also know that you've been paying her off. The last payment was $50,000.
She got $100,000 out this man.
Yep.
$50,000 for the first time, and then another $50,000, and that she kept to herself and didn't give her daughter a dime.
Exactly. And then they show us this flashback of her sorting through bills and all this stuff. And now you want to create a plan for Eva to figure out after the first husband that she had passed away. Now you like, I'm knee deep in bills. Let me go and now tap into the situation with Ted.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm like, you didn't care for that girl to have a relationship with her father. At all, because it didn't have to take blowing up at not an engagement party, anniversary party, and you making a grand entrance and saying this and saying that. Your daughter could have handled it her own way if she wanted to have a relationship with her father. But at the same time, she's not innocent to all this either, because she chose to also be vindictive. Even after getting to know Ted and Nicole, she still was trying to do and play her role into this whole mess. So it just boils down to there's a lot of people who are at fault. I feel Ted and Leslie, without a doubt, are the most at fault for this.
Yep. So now Eva, once she figured out this stuff, what Ted was going to help her out, she ended up running into Tomas after Kat clearly told him, listen, after everything this girl and her mama done, you need to stay away from him. Now, granted, you can't tell somebody what to do, but this is somebody that you obviously is trying to build a relationship with, and you know this girl is at odds and now is her half sister. Cat walk away and say, I'll be back. Did you not know that the girl was coming back? She told you, and you sitting up there at that table on having conversation with Eva, and to the point where y'all holding hands, and Cat walked back in and saw all of it. If I was Cat, I would be done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without question. In fact, you're holding hands to the girl who kind of helped basically blow up the mess in her at her family's anniversary party. Yeah. Yeah. You can't play two in the middle. Especially when we find out that that's my half sister. Yeah. So Eva could have had Tomas and let that be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they find another guy for her. But to be honest, I think Eva and Tomas have a really interesting connection to each other. So I think they might hook up sooner rather than later from what it looks like. But I agree, Kat deserves way better than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too happy about that. You know, we're at odds, and that what this girl participated in blew up my family along with what my father did. And she's at the heart of this whole situation, and yet you sympathizing and doing all these things. Yeah, okay. Miss me on that one. I'm out. Yeah.
Now, if I were to play devil's advocate for Tomas, technically he's not in a relationship with Kat.
Right, and that's what Blackpink me is saying is Kat can't tell Tomas who to be friends with. I can choose for myself though. I mean, you can't tell him what to do, but I can make a choice on what I need to do. And if it ain't working for me and I don't like the dynamic of the situation and you want to be in this whole friendship / whatever y'all got going on, have at it. But I don't want no parts of it.
Yeah. Especially when you trying to comfort quote unquote my enemy.
Right. She can't, and that's what I said when I first started talking about that part of it. She can't tell him who not to talk to. She just can't. But I mean, you can't control the actions of another person, but you can only control what you do. And if she sees that this man got some sort of a connection with the woman that is now her sister, who's a part of what my dad did and blew up the family, and your crazy so-called mama, yeah, go ahead on, y'all. I'm good.
Yeah. And Belinda Hill, I agree with that too. She said Tomas is really attracted to Eva because he grabbed Eva's hand first, and that was true.
Yeah, and she's also experienced. And unfortunately, I know, like you were saying, Kat needs somebody else who's going to, that was the biggest connection between those two, because remember, Eva was flirting hard with Tomas, knowing Kat wasn't going to make herself available in that way. So she played upon that, and obviously that stuck in Tomas's head.
Yeah. I wonder if this is the stuff that happened with her father, I think might change her viewpoint on keeping her V card.
Well, I guess
I saw some stuff online that she might get in with the wrong guy and lose it that way. I hope not.
I hope not, but yeah. All right, there's another party to this whole thing, and that's Bill Hamilton. And it came out that Bill was the cleanup man for Ted back in the day by having him take care of the situation. Well, Bill decided he wanted to put threats on the table, which according to him, he didn't think he was going to make good on it. He wanted to scare Well, unfortunately, those threats came out now, and his daughters is concerned. We saw a confrontation from Danny and him. So, and Bill is like, listen, you talk to the wrong person. Yeah, I put threats on the table because the Duprees are always asking me to clean up messes when I was married to you.
Look, he's everybody's cleanup man, apparently.
Yeah, because he
That's
also knows some stuff on Martin.
yeah. And he was very firm when he said that you need to go to Anita and Vernon Dupree. So I guarantee he probably got several secrets on them as well.
Yeah, that's why they was
But
looking crazy when Danny came over there. Obviously, Danny was married to this man and don't know how deep in cahoots that her husband was cleaning up stuff for everybody at the time.
and it kind of shows like how her family kind of shelters her and probably Nicole too as to what goes on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They go to great lengths because even Nicole doesn't know what happened regarding her own son.
Right.
So the fact that they sheltered her and she's asking questions about like, well, what did my family do? Like, my family doesn't owe you anything, and it makes her look foolish. And I'm like, the fact that he told you to go straight to your mom and your dad, you cannot go back and jog your memory as to why your family wanted you to attend his wedding and wanted the community to rally around Haley so she can feel like she has a full wedding and have it at the country house or whatever. That doesn't jog your memory. Like, why would your family force you to stay? She's so stuck on the fact that she's back in this man's good grace, not good graces, but his presence. That's all she wanted. She wanted an excuse to go over there, an excuse to yell at him and be in his face. But this man is telling you, if you have questions as far as the secrets I'm keeping, go to your parents. These are the same parents who forced you to go to a wedding to your ex-husband.
Right. Gail Lewis in the chat said Bill is like J.R. Ewing and Leslie is like Alexis Carrington.
Oh, Lord.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Maybe even Bill slept with Dana.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
Because he was sleeping around on Danny for a year, so.
Yep. And everybody knew. She knew about the fact that he was sleeping around, but nothing about the secrets that he was keeping for the family. Okay. That don't make no sense to me. But I agree with that. I had a theory. I think I put like earlier this week in our group chat. But I don't know if I want to share it because I don't want to take up too much time. But yeah, I do agree with that. I honestly agree that they have probably slept together. Or they still might be in cahoots together for all we know.
Who knows? That would be interesting. And I mean, because obviously I would think Trisha Mann ain't going nowhere. So she might be locked into other twists and storylines with other people on this show. And Bill would be a big candidate to do that with.
And to be honest, as vindictive as this woman is, part of me really feels that Haley is her daughter.
Who?
Her real daughter, Leslie.
I honestly see it. There's rumors that woman that I have a picture of above her is Haley's mom.
Oh. What is her name? It starts with a J, too. That could definitely be a possibility. Because I felt like there was a reason why they showcased Bill's part in the whole affair thing, because they could have said that Ted paid off a lawyer and it could have been someone off screen. They made it a point to make sure it was Bill, and the fact that he threatened Leslie and everything. What if the child that she had is actually happens to be his wife.
Right, and see a lot of people, because on the Facebook side, and you guys, it's a ton of Beyond the Gates groups out there. Oh my God, I think I'm in all of them just about. And there's conversation that, because if you look at this woman that they got to play the homeless woman, because obviously they brought her in for a reason.
Yeah.
She favors Haley without makeup.
Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I can
So
see all of that.
she never had, remember, Haley never had family and didn't know anything about. They're bringing this lady on for whatever reason, and I mean, not just for, I would assume, Naomi to just represent her for whatever reason. She's probably got a tie to somebody, and if anybody, I'm speculating, is probably Haley.
Yeah, because we don't know the backstory except for what she told us briefly before they got married.
Mm-hmm.
And she just popped up over out of nowhere. That's why, like, I think that theory could be very true about the homeless lady. But the reason why I felt that it could also be Leslie is just as obsessed with the Duprees as Haley is. And I wouldn't put it past this woman to tell Haley to get revenge on the man who said that I need to unalive you.
Mm-hmm.
Go after him, steal him from the Dupree women, and marry him, and blah 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 blah. That's what I was thinking regarding the whole Haley being Leslie's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my theory, y'all. But the homeless lady, you're right, they brought her in for a particular reason. And I'm just hoping it's not like a one-off thing like they did with that legal battle that Bill had, mm-hmm. and the ladies just settle.
Right. I hope not. We'll see. We definitely will see. One other thing, and there was the whole confrontation between Ted and Nicole. You know, he was trying. I'm still the same man. She was like, I don't know you. I don't know the person standing in front of me and all this kind of stuff, and pretty much read him the riot act. I find that highly interesting when she's keeping a lot of secrets for Vanessa, and she openly knows Vanessa is cheating.
Yeah. I mean, but I understand, like, there's certain things you want to keep in private.
You need to have that same angst with Vanessa, because she know that she been creeping around and sleeping on her husband and things like that. It's interesting when the ball is in your court, you have a different reaction.
Oh, yeah. And there's a baby a grown child out of this whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess she can have her judgments, but she cannot go out there and say, I judge you for such and such, for doing such and such, because that's still that woman's life. And she owes honesty to her husband, not necessarily Nicole. But it's interesting. I wonder if their friendship dynamic is going to change, because Vanessa's not going to change her ways. She's a cheater, pumpkin eater with the whole escort service on speed dial.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got the escort service on speed dial.
Owned by Joey.
That's not going. She got a problem.
And she's interested in sleeping with Joey.
Yeah, that's just not going to change her actions.
Mm-mm.
And it makes me wonder, as far as Nicole goes, like, what happens if Doug finds out? Well, I'm pretty sure Doug knows that Vanessa's cheating. She just hasn't been honest about it. But what if, like, we see something between Doug and Nicole, down the line.
Oh no, I don't see it, but I mean anything is possible, I guess.
And I meant to ask something. That guy who got Eva out of the closet, who was he?
He's a friend of Ted's.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the new show to cry on. I wouldn't
Girl,
mind
you are
that.
so crazy.
Look, I had to find a replacement for my Ted. Okay, got
You
a
are
couple days left.
hilarious. Let me ask you a question. Is there anybody on? Oh, and by the way, we see that Naomi had a new wig this week too. I was like,
It's
okay.
better.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, I would like. Who would you see from Beyond the Gates that would be a good match for Carter?
Ooh. I think.
And we can't use Danny.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Right, because she was on Bold.
Playing Maya.
Right.
To be honest, I think somebody like Eva or Naomi would definitely fit him.
You think
And
Eva would fit Carter?
this is the same man who got with Quinn.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
This is the same man who got with Quinn. I mean, we see like the checkered types of women. He'll have like these good girls, these bad girls, these selfish entitled girls. He doesn't have a type. He just likes who loves him or who will say the words to him, and he'll fall for it.
Could you see Lily with Bill or Andre?
No.
Neither. Okay.
Lily needs to be alone.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I
maybe Jacob for Lily.
She would drive him insane.
And he would simp for her. So I think that's a match made in heaven.
Girl, you crazy. You are funny. Yeah. So, anyway. I could see Audra with Andre.
Oh, they would have them love scenes.
Would be fire.
Ooh, yes. They would explode on the screen. It would be hot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even her and Bill.
Who? Audra and Bill? Oh, yes. Yeah. Girl, shoot. You think his hands were shaking? His hands were shaking even more when Audra got through with him.
Lord, and she would go toe to toe with a Danny. See, I can definitely see that.
Could you see Leslie with Damien?
Probably. I can kind of. To be honest, I wouldn't mind her with Bill either.
Yeah, I could see Bill and Leslie. I could see that. Because he's ruthless and so is she.
Like, I can see that.
Especially because they got a couple of things in common. They do not like the Duprees.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so Jasmine, you think Chelsea and Carter should get together? I can kind of see that, but she's... it's hard to say. I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to keep it PG. But I personally, I think she'll fit the aesthetic, just not the same mindset, because he wants a family and kids and all that, and she's just not in a mental place to want any of that.
Mm-hmm.
At least we know that Naomi is marriage-minded, and I think Eva wants family and everything like that. And plus, she'll add a little fire, a little spice for Carter too. That's why I was thinking those two.
Yeah. Interesting. I was just wondering to try to do some cross-referencing and see what you thought.
Gail, I agree, and I think Doug would be a great fit for her.
Who?
She said Katie needs a man in her life, and I
You put
agree.
Doug with Katie?
Yeah.
I guess.
I can kind of see that. I can kind of see her and Doug together.
Okay. Would you put Brooke with Joey?
No.
Why not?
No.
Okay, would you put Vanessa with Ridge?
Actually, I wouldn't mind that.
Okay.
I could definitely see that.
Okay, and what about Ashley with Nicholas?
Who's Ashley?
The girl that worked at the hospital.
Oh, Ashley with Nick Newman?
Yes.
There's a lot of Nicks.
Nick Newman.
Nick Newman. No, I can't see. It's hard to figure out who I could pair her up with. I know they want to eventually lean towards her and Andre, but I can't even. They're kind of. I don't know what it is with her.
Mm.
It's hard to figure out who they can pair her with, to be honest.
Oh, Jasmine Williams said Ashley and Liam.
I feel like we kind of already get a little bit of that on screen with her and the man she's with.
God.
It's just like kind of.
You know what? I would put Andre with Hope.
Okay.
To bring out her carnal side, like Thomas did.
I can kind of see that.
Because Annika can play a good love scene.
Yes, she can. She sure can. I can definitely see that.
I don't know who would I put Steph with.
Lord, oh, we have a field day because she would fit perfectly with quite a few men.
Who?
Oh my goodness. She can be with a Bill. She can be with an Andre. She could
She's too bossy.
These men are after the Dupree women. They are the definition of bossy.
I guess, but not as bossy as Steffy is. Steffy be trying to tell you which way to go and what to do and what you can't do, and
it works for Finn.
Well, these guys ain't Finn.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But Steffi and Andre, that would also be kind of hot too.
Steffi and Andre?
I can see that.
Well, I could see her looking down at him because, I mean, I don't know. She's just.
Who are you thinking?
With Steph?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I can't pick up anything. Would you put Tomas with Audra?
Oh, yes. He would love that. I think that they would have like some very hot, spicy chemistry together.
Mm-hmm. You think so, huh?
Yes. Now, to be honest, I would probably, if I wanted to be messy, I would give Leslie to Rich.
Oh, no.
Since he likes to hop and skip between two women, she got several different wigs to play with, and I guarantee he would never cheat again.
Could you see Vanessa with Victor?
No.
To try to slide in and break that up? No.
Anita, I would love to see an Anita.
Anita with who?
Victor, getting him all the way together.
Yeah.
Because imagine telling that woman no.
Nobody ain't gonna get Victor together, child.
Look, Anita would definitely try.
Jasmine,
you see how she got the way that she got Vernon together?
Yeah, well. Jasmine said Leslie would chew Ridge up.
Look, but he would never have to worry about choosing between another woman again. She at least 4 women herself.
Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of play around with that for a hot minute. What'd you say?
Yeah, I say Brooke couldn't compete with that.
I don't know. For some reason, I could see Brooke and Joey. I don't know why.
With the mobster?
Why not
I
take a
don't
trip
know.
to the dark side?
Oh, okay.
True. If Vanessa take a trip to the dark side, Brooke would too.
Danny and Bill Spencer.
I don't know about that, Danny.
Or even or Bill Spencer and Leslie. I don't know. There's so many
There's
different
so
things I
many
can play around with.
possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. We got anything else on BTG?
I think that's pretty much it. I didn't like how the homeless woman was like being disrespectful to Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's trying to help you. She's giving you free like pro bono legal services. She's putting you up for free at a place where you can take a shower and take care of yourself, and you still want to be out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that, but that was the only other thing I could say about that. We already talked about Bill. We talked about everything else pretty much. Do you think Nicole and Ted are going to get divorced?
I don't know. I mean, we got the new guy coming on. It's going to be interesting to see that dynamic. I keep seeing people in the chat saying that him and I guess Daphne do play didn't get along or something. So I don't know if that's true or not. We won't really
That's hard to
know.
tell.
I mean, obviously, they would have to act a certain way on screen, but if there was some issues between the two, actor and actress, they did a good job of keeping it off screen. So I don't know, you guys. So I see y'all talking about it. I guess we'll find out later down the road. But they might have made him sign an NDA. Who knows? If that's the case.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to move into our final segments. I flipped the script. Who's taking the seats? Star of the week, pickle of the week, and the final one, the Simp Olympics. So for Y&R, what script are you flipping?
I would have Adam be honest with Chelsea, but in a Victor way, and say like, hey, you know who I am. You know my father's not changing. You made a choice to work for this company. You know how we go about things. If you cannot go with that, then tough cookie.
Right. I agree with that. My flip, and I kind of talked about it and touched on it earlier, was Phyllis actually going to Jack instead. Oh, God, no. That's next week. Darn it. Back it up. Yeah, I'm jumping ahead so far. If I had a flip, you know, I don't know. I would have had Kyle. Oh God, that's tomorrow too. Wait. Let me think of something.
You see in the future.
Girl, well, I didn't see Monday's episode and it is just insane.
Throwing you off a bit.
Yeah. I would say probably, if anything, I would. Oh, you know what? I would have had Damien kind of stand his ground with Lily and not had that man quit his job for her to prove something. It's like, listen, I like you. I'm even interested in you. But to use my feelings in order to prove something to you, that you want me to go so far as to quit my job and do espionage because I like you? No.
I'll even do one better. I want Devon to shut her down and say, no, I don't want him working at my company.
Yep.
And then what is she going to do?
Yep. But I mean, but what's going to stop her is Damien. Damien has to set boundaries. And it's like, listen, I'm not finna let you run ruckshot through my feelings for you as a way to prove something to you, and especially going so far of quitting my job and spying on my boss who entrusted me with this company. But no, he's trying, as we saw tomorrow, he's going to try to recruit, Holden to take his job. So I just wish they would have had him set firmer boundaries with Lily.
Yeah. Ugh. I
Yeah.
hate when men do this.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Okay, what you flipping on bold?
I wish that Liam told Bill that's still his daddy.
I think that's coming
And
up this week, isn't it?
hopefully, I'm keeping my
Yeah.
fingers crossed, but that's something I would have flipped for this week.
Okay. Yeah. I I'm gonna flip the whole darn storyline. I'm sorry, Scott Clifton, if you happen to pass through my life. I'm just not a big fan of, and it's not just this storyline. I didn't like the Eric one 2 years ago either. So, and the coughing up of the blood and all that other stuff. It just,
And he was like every other scene too. It was like,
yeah,
oh
it was
Lord,
like,
like we
ew.
get it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was the tail end and going into December of the November sweeps, but good grief. It's like, can we not do this? So I'm
Just
just not a
yuck.
fan of the storyline. What'd you say, Bree?
I was gonna say yuck. It
Yeah.
was that's all I could think of.
And yeah, and then I wish, I guess the other thing is Carter stop begging.
Yeah, because it's getting old.
Yeah. What you flipping on BTG?
I had two flips. But my main one is I would have loved a different reaction from Nicole. It just seems like she was a little passive, in my opinion, especially after hearing your husband has a whole grown child and
Mm-hmm.
she's been working up underneath you and trying to be vindictive to you and all around your kids and everything. She was just a little, we're just two different breeds of women.
Ah, yeah. Let me see. If I had to flip anything, that whole I wish I know Cat. We saw Cat walk away. I just wish she would have went up and said something.
Yep.
And
Oh,
then
that's perfect.
yeah, she should have said instead of just walk away and do it. Who knows what her next move is? We could be surprised by that this week. But I wish she had said something like, "Hey, if this is what you want, have at it. I'm done. Don't something like that."
Mm-hmm.
All right, taking seats. Young and the Restless.
Uh, Lily
Okay,
and Claire get a seat.
I'm
Good Lord.
I'm gonna give Mariah a seat. How you gonna try to keep a secret, but then you acting suspect around everybody?
Like it's all over your face. You just like you don't think your wife is gonna notice something's wrong with you?
Yeah, take a seat and figure out how you gonna move, because if you trying to keep this secret, you doing a poor job of it because of the fact that you don't want to be at the house. You don't want to spend time with your family. Don't you think something people gonna think something wrong?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who taking seats on board?
Um Deacon. I almost forgot about Deacon popping up
Mm-hmm.
for no reason. And like that's your grown daughter, and clearly she entertains who's going to give her time and attention,
Mm-hmm.
and you would know that if she chose to have you in her life like that.
Mm-hmm. Um, taking seats on. I'm gonna have Luna take a seat. How you gonna just show up at people's house? I mean, you just. I know this is called the bold. You really bold, and the bold and the beautiful, but You was like, I don't care if Steffi might be at the house now. I'm coming to see my daddy. Now I get it, but girl, please. And I might as well give the security team at Steffi's house a seat, because how y'all just let folks just come up in there? Sheila then showed up unannounced. Luna then showed up unannounced. It's like, and then people, y'all don't lock doors. People just walk
Yeah.
up in the house, and he looking like, what are you doing here? Maybe if you locked the door, she wouldn't have got in.
Look, she just like her grandmother. You shouldn't be surprised.
Oh man. And then taking seats on BTG.
Oh, Leslie can take all the seats, all her personalities, all her wigs, can take a seat.
Mm-hmm.
For the way that she treated her accomplice. I can't even call her her daughter, her accomplice.
Yeah. I'm gonna give, like I said, Tomas a seat. You playing two in the middle, dude. Yeah. Mm-mm. Jasmine talking about Dee Dee Mosquito. Who is Dee? Oh, they must be talking about Haley. Double D Mosquito.
I forgot about Haley. Oh Lord, that was hilarious. Oh, she definitely needs a seat for making things all about her. Her and Hope will be best friends. They could be great friends. They're just alike.
Mm-hmm. All right, star of the week. Young and the Restless. That's a good question. Any performances stood out to you?
A part of me wants to probably give it to Eric Braeden. This man's range of emotions is just always on par. Like the way that he has just put his stamp on the Victor Newman character for decades, and we still feel the way that we feel about him.
Right.
That's some talent.
Exactly. I agree with that. I mean, he's got his hands in so many different things. And Eric Braeden has been doing this for 40 plus years, and he still know what to do.
He hasn't missed a beat. I'm just impressed.
Yep. All right. Star of the week, Bo.
Scott and Dawn. That scene that they had, that I think that was a part of the week that I actually cried on that episode. That meant so much for me to see that. That's why I was hoping that he would just tell his dad.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I guess, I actually enjoyed the little coming to, because the common ground they came to with those kids, both Jacqueline and Annika.
Mm-hmm.
When Hope found out that that Liam was, I mean, the emotion was insane in that room between the two of them. So I think they did a good job on that. And then BTG star of the week.
See, my problem is there were too many performances to choose from.
Actually, I think Eva did a good job. The girl is an excellent actress to me. There's some people that sound like, they're new to the game. But she is definitely one that she can cry on cue and everything.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
I'm going to give it to the gentleman who plays Martin.
Oh my gosh. Okay, gotcha.
Whew. This man can act. And Leslie, the actress who plays Leslie,
Trisha Mann.
Trisha Mann, incredible actress. My goodness. But I'm going to give it to the gentleman who plays Martin. There was just too many performances to choose from this week as a star of the week.
I agree with you. Yeah, because there was a lot of emotion that happened once all that information came out. So.
Yeah.
All right, pickle of the week, Y&R. I'm giving it to Lily.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Lily and Devon. I'm like, you just gonna let your sister just run over you like this, sir, and just tell you how you gonna run your business?
Exactly. She's irritating. I mean, you might as well give Claire a small one too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Bold.
Um,
Deacon.
I was gonna say Finn.
Okay.
He look. That's still your child. That's a
Mm-hmm.
grown woman, but that's still something that you created. This is the mess that you created,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to kind of think for yourself versus just thinking about what Steffi would approve of. Because if she was on the other foot, she wouldn't do it for you.
Nope. Not at all. All right. And then pickled on bold. I mean on BTG.
Once again, too many to choose from. But I'm actually going to give it to Bill and his role in all of this. And then what he said to Danny, saying, like, that's why I wanted out in the first place. I laugh because I'm like, all he cares about is what's going on with the Duprees. But that's just my
Mm-hmm.
viewpoint. But he was talking sideways, and I didn't like that.
Okay. I'm again. I don't like the two in the middle between the two ladies. I'm gonna give it to Tomas.
Okay.
And
Well
then
deserved.
yes, definitely. And then Simple Olympics. Who gets the bronze across the board?
Across the board for bronze, well, I hate to say this, but Damien.
I was actually going to give the bronze to Daphne because she keep begging this man. You know, pretty
Okay.
much throwing herself. I would have given the silver to Damien because he's willing now. He's making a move to actually quit his job.
That's a good point.
I mean, Daphne is throwing herself and leave her alone, be with me, blah, 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 blah. But Damien is ready to quit his job to prove something to Lily Pooh.
Lily Poo. Oh, Lord.
That's what they say in the chat. Somebody, I think that's Jasmine Williams that call her Lily
Yeah,
Pooh.
that was Jasmine.
And then who
And,
gets the gold?
oh, Lord. Well, I can't even say unfortunately. That is Carter.
Well, who no, I was gonna give him the platinum.
Oh, okay. We'll save that for him then. Then the gold. Who would be the gold right now? Across both soaps?
I'm trying to
I
think.
don't know. He might go ahead and get gold and platinum. I mean, he's definitely earned it this week. He keep going back and forth to host the house more than he does his job.
Do you think Kyle is simping for Claire?
Not after Monday's episode.
Well, yeah, I'm talking
After
about
what
up
he's
to this
done,
past week.
I
Not really.
oh a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because he just needs to just flat out tell her no, he doesn't want to, and she's kind of had to grow up a little bit. But I understand it's a new relationship, and he's trying to get
Mm-hmm.
this girl to move in with him. So I get it. And it would kind of feed into Victor's point that he's just this bad man for her to be with. But I can kind of see it though.
Okay. And then, of course, the platinum is definitely going to Carter. I mean, for him to be. This girl is telling you in past tense, she already said, I loved you a while back. Like you said, it's been like a month and a half. And then she turns around and is like, I need more time. And she been leaving you on red, and you still talking about you want to be with her and you want to make this. I'm gonna fight for her, dude. Please.
It's not reciprocated, but
Mm-mm.
okay.
And now you about to hear some information because you eavesdropping, and hopefully this will be enough to tell you to walk away.
Yeah, it's Once again, I don't feel bad for this man. He risked it all for this girl who won't even reciprocate it back.
Nope. You are absolutely correct. That's a darn shame. So, all right, you guys, we had another great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I know it's about 10:45 on the East Coast, so I didn't want to go past 11 o'clock. I was trying to see if we can get to 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Therefore, you guys, I'm not keeping you up too late. Again, I will see, but I think probably toward like the end of the month and the first couple of weeks in June, we might do back to some Fridays. We shall see. Okay. So, the spoiler videos are already up on the channel and on the YNR Unfiltered for the Young and Restless, and the Shade and the Beautiful for BTG. I have to do the one, and I'm begrudgingly, because it's hard for me to get through these Liam episodes because it kind of hits me a little bit based on the Liam and the kids aspect. So, I'm trying. I'm trying, you guys, But yeah, the other spoilers on the other soaps are already up. They were up on Friday. So make sure you check those out. Go check out those two channels. YNR only is on YNR Unfiltered, and Beyond the Gates is on the Shade and the Beautiful channel, which Bree has definitely put right there. Thank you very much in the chat. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. Go ahead. What'd you say, Bree?
No, I said, yeah, absolutely. Please go check out the channels, y'all. It was so much fun. Yeah. And an honorable mention for the start of the week is for Breeze.
For Breeze. Well, yeah, because Procter & Gamble is a sponsor of Beyond the Gates alongside in AACP. So, all right, you guys. Other than that, we will let you guys get back to your evening. Again, happy Mama's Day to all of the mamas in the chat. Hopefully you enjoyed your Mother's Day. And stay tuned for the rest of this upcoming week for the week of the 12th through the 16th. And until next week, we will see you all later. Bye, Soapies.
Good night, Soapies.